All right, guys. Well, we've had quite a morning. It's now afternoon, and pardon me if my hand is shaking just a little bit. We went for a really long hike up a canyon, and man, it was a challenge. But we kept up, and I definitely brought up the tail of the parade, but it was a good adventure. I'm happy I can say I did it. Looking from the bottom, I never thought we'd be able to climb that. Today, right now, we're in the ancient city of Avdat. And no, I had never heard of this before I came here. But it is cool. All around us are these ruins. And it's not very clean. Like over here, we just see piles and piles and piles of rock and rubble. And behind me are these cool Byzantine-era walls. And I mean, we are up high. We're right above the plain. We're in the middle of the desert. I mean, this isn't Sahara, but there isn't much for water unless you really dig for it. And I've been kind of making a few other little videos for this, but Avdat is a desert city on the Spice Trail. And so this would have been a trail that led all the way to India and all the way up to Rome, eventually when Rome was built. But for even centuries before that, this was a trade route. And so Avdat developed here to help be a water source and a refresh station in the middle of this huge desert. And hopefully you can see pieces of it behind me. But we're hundreds of feet up here. This is a city on a hill, no doubt. And it's pretty amazing. And so right now, I'm standing actually on the edge of a wine press. And if you've never seen an ancient wine press, which in person I've never seen an ancient wine press, it's pretty amazing. And so right here in this pit kind of that we're standing in is where that process would have started. And so we have these different rooms where the grapes would have been. And then they come in here and they press them. And then behind us, there's a slot here, a pipe here, where the wine then drains. And then they repeat the process. And so one of the things I was reflecting on is if you look down here, you can see this wine press, and it's really cool to see that. It's a deep pit, and that's where they would take time and press that wine out. And so the process is multi-form. But I want you to think about, and maybe even check, if you remember in Judges talking about Gideon. Gideon pressed wine, he didn't press wine, sorry. Gideon was hiding in one of these wine presses, but it doesn't say that in the Bible. It says he was threshing wheat in a wine press. And you don't thresh wheat in a wine press because a wine press is a hole in the ground. But Gideon was threshing wheat in a wine press. Now, a good place for a threshing floor would be here on this edge behind us, because you need a strong wind to carry the chaff and allow the grains to settle. And so literally we get an idea of what Gideon was thinking and Gideon's personality, because he was threshing wheat in a wine press. And so I love this, and I love seeing this. And hopefully behind us you can see all the different ruins, and I'm going to try and get out of the way, but I got some reflection. That square block back there is the Roman tower, and so there's all sorts of eras. There have been all sorts of houses and different things here over millennia, and it was finally abandoned in 700 A.D., and literally an earthquake hit the area and collapsed a lot of these homes. And so you can still see that they've been slowly uncovering the ruins behind us. And it's just tremendous to see. And so I'll check in again. I'm going to go over to this lookout. But yeah, even behind me, we've got this beautiful open, palace of walls here, which would have been the fortress at the top during the Byzantine era, which would have been after the Roman era and kind of during the Crusades. And so, and this was really, really, really an amazing place. And it was all about water, but we'll talk about that later.